What's up, guys? It's Chad with Living the Van Life up here in Washington. I tell you what, you guys want some good old raw Chad one and done, sitting in a van talking to you guys about van life? Let's do it. Grab a brewski, crack it, let's do it. You know, you guys are right. Everything we do every single day in our career is all about how can we add production value to the films that we create. So when we go out and we do van videos, that's inherently, that's our nature now, is how do we make this look better? How do we make this cool? How do we wow the audience with everything? Hence all the production value that we put into it, the editing, the music, everything like that. And so the feedback on the videos is like, gosh, we really miss your old school, just Chad with a phone, one and done van life videos. And so it's hard to pick this thing up and be like, what's up, guys? It's Chad with Living the Van Life. Because it's so against everything that we've really pushed ourselves for on the professional end. But nonetheless, it's so true. It's so true. I do need to do stuff like this. So here we are. We're going to do it. We're going to drink some beer. We're going to hang out in the van. And we're going to talk about the old days. Let's talk about the old days of living in a van. This van has been so many places with me. It's taken me on so many journeys. It has taught me so much about life. Like, it's crazy. It like gives me goosebumps about the experiences that this thing's provided. And yeah, I don't know, I could never get rid of this thing. So hanging out here in this thing, it's yeah, it's cool. I figured this might be kind of a cool opportunity to catch up with you guys and just have like just some one-on-one time. I know a lot of you guys have been with me from the very beginning of when I was sitting pretty much right here in a Walmart parking lot talking on my cell phone of why I was going to live in a van and why I made the decision to live in the van. This is where it all started so many years ago. And it's crazy to think back about those times. You know, I got sick in I guess that would have been December of 2010. I had just bought my van a month prior to that, and I got really sick. I was home from work for a week. I thought I had the flu. And I woke up on Christmas Eve morning and went and checked myself into the hospital because it wasn't getting any better. It was getting worse. And it turned out that I had ruptured my appendix. And I ended up spending 5 days in the hospital through Christmas and all that stuff, and that was not a fun time to be in the hospital. And with a ruptured appendix, I mean, people die from that. But I tell you what, that was a life change for me. Everything changed after that, and I don't know what it is. And you know, people say, oh, you could have died from that, and I never felt any crazy like out-of-body experience like people always talk about or anything like that. But something changed after that experience of being in the hospital, and I came out of the hospital and I had surgery a month later for them to actually remove the appendix. But I came out of that with wanting to simplify my life. I don't know what it is. I can't tie it to anything. It was shortly after that I found out that the career that I had been working in was going away. I was losing my job. The company I was working for was closing their doors. And I had been in that industry for 18 years of my life. I started when I was 14. And so that's all I'd known. And I always wanted to be a photographer. I always wanted to be a filmmaker. I remember standing there in that moment when I was at the crossroads. I found out that I was losing my job in the career that I'd been in for 18 years. But then again, everything that I'd been pushing for as a hobby, from photography and filmmaking, was on this hand. And how do I go back into the industry when here right on the cusp is photography and filmmaking? And I made the decision right there. I was like, okay, I've got to move into doing this for a full-time living. How do I make myself a living in photography? And the first challenge that I was up against is, how do I go from making a full-time living, a full-time income, and depending on that, like we all do, to starting over from zero and learning to make an income and depend from photography. And I figured that the biggest overhead I had, living in a house, my truck and all that stuff, and there's a lot that goes into that, and you rely on that income. Well, I had to get rid of the house. Well, how do you just get rid of a house? And the idea popped up of, why don't you live in your van? I was like, I can't live in my van. It was actually my mom. My mom was the one that mentioned it. I was like, well, how can I do that? I can't just start living in a van. I had too many responsibilities, and what kind of person lives in a van? But I tell you what, I went to YouTube. For whatever reason, I was drawn to YouTube, living in a van. And when I typed that in to YouTube, there was 4 different videos that came up. And one of those was Gary from Bug Out Vehicles, and I know there's a lot of you guys that know of Gary and watched his videos. And Kyle Pounds. Kyle Pounds was one of the other ones that came up, and I watched Kyle's video. Jeff, the Canuck. He was putting out some videos about him traveling around in his Westfalia and watching YouTube videos, and he was a big inspiration. And then the other one is Chris Travels. I watched those videos, and in that very moment is when I made the decision, I'm going to do this. I'm going to live in a van so that I can chase my dreams of becoming a photographer and eventually perhaps someday a filmmaker. But I had to do it. I had to make the sacrifice. Because what are you willing to sacrifice in order to chase your dreams? So that's what I did. I made that decision. And about 3 weeks later, I started moving my stuff out of my house. I didn't know where it was going. I had no idea anything about living in a van. But I was starting out in this journey of not knowing how to do it, where it was going to go, how long it was going to last. And I remember the very night that I laid down to go to sleep for the first time of officially living in my van. I was in the parking lot of my brother's apartment. I didn't really know where else to go at that point. It was a spot to park that was safe. I remember laying down that night and thinking, I don't know if this is going to last one night, a week, a month, a year, or a lifetime. I remember laying down thinking that, and it was crazy. It was crazy. I really didn't know. I didn't know how long it was going to last. And it took about a week to settle in, to get into the groove of things kind of feeling normal. And after a few weeks, it became kind of a game, and it was fun, and it was adventurous, and every day it was something different. And it was amazing. I loved it. I loved every single bit of it. And about 6 months into it, I realized, wow, you know what? I've actually learned a lot about living in a van. I learned so much. Everything was a learning experience. But the crazy thing is, it wasn't just what I had learned about living in a van. It was what I'd learned about life. Like, I learned so much about life. And I think that was the thing that had, like, blown me away. I felt like I had stronger tools and more prepared for anything that could come at me in life, because I was living in a van. I was doing stuff that most people weren't doing at the time. Now it's all over YouTube and everybody's living in a van. It was at that moment where I realized that I wanted to give back to the community who had brought me so much, who inspired me, and that was YouTube. And so I thought about it for a day or two of, well, how would I go about giving back to that community? And I realized, okay, well, why don't I start a YouTube channel? These little units right here, with their video capabilities and their mobile internet capabilities, I realized that I could start a YouTube channel, and this could be my gateway to getting videos onto YouTube. So there was that one day, I believe it was August of 2011, and I was sitting in the parking lot of Walmart, sitting in my van, talking to my cell phone. What's up, guys? This is Chad with Living the Van Life, and this is why I live in a van. And I remember thinking, I was so self-conscious about it. I remember looking around like, who is seeing me talk to my phone while I'm sitting in a parking lot in Walmart, talking to a cell phone about living in my van. And I tell you what, I went live with that one single video, and I told myself, I'm not telling a single soul. That means my family, my friends, my enemies. I'm not telling anybody about this. I mean, how do you like tell somebody like, hey guys, I made a video today with my cell phone in the parking lot of Walmart about living in my van? So I gotta admit, I was, I can't say I was ashamed of it, I guess. I guess I was more embarrassed. I didn't know how to handle it. And I told myself, the people that are going to want to find that will certainly find that video. They'll find the information. It'll be there for whoever wants it. That's how I found it. And I think over the course of the next year, I did like 3 or 4 videos. Just updates. Hey guys, haven't talked to you in like 3 or 4 months. Here's what I'm doing. I'm on a road trip. I'm over here doing this. I'm over here doing that. And yeah, I think after a year, I had like 3 or 4 videos, and I looked at my channel one day and I saw that there was like 800 subscribers. And I was blown away. I was like, are you kidding me? There's like 800 people interested in the 4 videos that I did about living in my van, talking with my cell phone. And I was just blown away by it. I really was. And so I figured like, wow, what would happen if I actually like made a little bit of an effort? Like if there's 800 people interested, maybe there's more. And maybe I should give them more information. And so it became a game again of, cool. Well, guys, this is what I've learned. Here's what I'm doing. What's up, guys? It's Chad with Living the Van Life up here in Washington. And today we're talking about living in a van. And so it was exciting to see it grow. It was exciting. And to see that people were interested in it. It was shortly after that that all those dreams that I had been chasing came true. I mean, no, I can't say came true. They began to start coming true, because still to this day, I can't say that all the dreams have come true. Still chasing those dreams. And quite honestly, I've come to realize that probably I'm just going to be chasing those dreams all my life. Because I guess that's just what people like us do. But I tell you what, this van right here, the amount of dreams that have been chased in this van because of this van, the amount of dreams that have come true in this van because of this van, it gives me freaking goosebumps. It seriously does. And it doesn't matter if you hate it. There's been so many times I've hated this van and I've just wanted to burn it to the ground. How many motors have you guys seen me go through on this thing? You guys have been here for so many of it. I've been through motors, I've been through transmissions, I've been through everything on this van. But at the end of the day, I freaking love this van. And because it's got me to where I'm at now. And yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think about all the memories and all the crazy adventures and all the crazy dreams we chased together in this van. Just came aware, and I realized, like, you know what, I'll probably never actually sell this thing. And yeah. Crazy times. So hanging out in the van, having a beverage, and chatting with you guys, catching up, talking about old times. I would love it if we could do this on a regular basis. I think it would be cool. I don't know why we just don't do this like on a weekly basis and just catch up and just talk about van life. And we could do like some question and answer type stuff. I think that'd be cool. I don't live in a van anymore, so I'm not constantly in that realm of living this and living that and, ooh, what do they want to know? And, ooh, I'm doing this, so maybe I should share this with them. So that's hard to come up with content of randomly, well, what do you guys want to know? So we should have some question and answer type stuff. We can talk about some subjects. Nonetheless, even if I don't live in a van, this is my adventure spot. We still use these things on a weekly basis. They take us to some of the awesome, most amazing places and experiences that we can think of. And that's why we do those videos, and we try to make it entertaining, because we are driven every single day to figure out how to improve our production value. And so that inherently just goes into these videos. And I hope you guys appreciate that. I also hope you guys appreciate this raw one-on-one type of sit down and drink a beer with Chad. I know a lot of you guys, and I love hearing the feedback of you guys coming on and be like, it's Chad with Living the Van Life, and it's so cool to see. Like, it's crazy to see all that feedback. I really never had any idea that Living the Van Life left that kind of mark on all you guys out there. So seeing the feedback, it's super awesome. Anyways, guys, thank you for everything. All your guys' comments, all your feedback, it all keeps us driving forward. I can't tell you how much that means to get on there and see the comments. It makes me want to just keep going. So keep them coming. Smash the like button. The like button. That's what they say all over YouTube now. Smash the like button. All that good stuff. Whatever. You know what? Just click the like button if you like this video. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Other than that, guys, peace out. Keep on trucking.